I am the wealth whisperer. You get a taste of freedom. You get a taste of not having to answer like, wow, I can make some money and not have to request time off work.
And sometimes when women are in business and they do the same thing, they tend to compete against each other instead of work together and collaborate. So can you speak about the power of collaboration in this male-dominated industry? All right. So hello. Welcome to the Attract Abundance and Retire Wealthy podcast. I am Dr. Terri Alford, and today I have special guest Veronica Crippen here at the podcast. Veronica, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm excited to be here and network and enjoy the weekend.
Yes, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here. As I shared with another guest, you are a friend. You're not just a business partner. You're not just someone I've worked with. You are a friend. And I want to first say thank you for being on this journey with me. I think we met in 2022?
Yes.
Yes, we met in 2022. And you've been on this journey. You've seen me grow, right?
Yes.
So long before there was a Business Women Building Wealth community,
yes.
long before there was an Attract Abundance conference, we were connected. So again, thank you for your impact, your influence in my life and on my business. So I want you to tell the people, who are you and what do you do?
I am Veronica Crippen. I am the founder of Simply Rooted Financial. I serve women who serve. So I provide a safe space for women in their finances to ask questions, right? I want to educate them, equip them, edify them, let them know that there's no stupid question in finance.
Yes.
As we know, it's a male-dominated industry, so I want them to feel like I provide a space where they can let their guard down and get an honest answer and the clarity that they need in their finances.
Love it, friend. What is your nickname?
I am the wealth whisperer.
Hey!
Because I'm quiet.
I love it.
I am soft-spoken. I'm not loud. I'm not hoorah. Like, I love excitement. I love meeting new people. I love being in a room. But I just don't have a voice that carries.
Yes.
So I'm the wealth whisperer.
But you have a voice.
Yes.
And I think that's very important because sometimes when people see people with personalities like mine or even Christina, we had the opportunity to connect earlier. They're like, oh, well, I guess I must be like them. No, you can be yourself and own who you are and still make a great impact.
Yes.
So tell me about your journey as an entrepreneur. Where have you been and where are you today?
My entrepreneur journey started in 2019.
Okay.
Really, it was just me trying to find a business venture that I could just make a little extra money. You know, I don't know that I had a vision. I was like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to be my own boss. Well, then you start and you're like, you get a taste of freedom. You get a taste of not having to answer like, wow, I can make some money and not have to request time off work.
Yes.
And control the schedule. I can work days, I could work weekends, mornings, nights, I could kind of do those things. So for me, it started as a side thing. It wasn't a set out planned entrepreneur venture. Then I saw COVID happened, right? I am by degree a healthcare professional. Nobody wanted to work healthcare during COVID. It was terrible. So I was like, I am not gonna go dressed like a space alien. I'm not gonna do that to show up, and I care about patients, but I cared more about my sanity than I did that. So that's really kind of when my entrepreneur journey kind of transitioned. I was like, look, I can do this thing. I can replace my income. I can be my own boss. So I did. So I quit healthcare for 2 years during COVID, 18 months, 2 years. And then, I did go back to corporate world, post-corporate personal things. But where I'm now is building a community, building a space for women, again, to feel safe and confident and ask questions in their finances. So it's become less of a job and more of a mission in a serving type of way. So I'm in that transition phase of creating these communities and spaces for women to come and gather, not just for finances, but spiritual uplifting, for parenting advice. Raising teenagers is a hard thing. You know, just trying to be a partner along with them so that they feel like they have a place to go.
That is really good. I heard you say partner, and I was thinking partnerships and collaboration. And for those of you who do not know, Veronica and I are in the same exact industry. We do the same thing. It just looks different on the outside because we do it in a way that works with our target audiences. And sometimes when women are in business and they do the same thing, they tend to compete against each other instead of work together and collaborate. So can you speak about the power of collaboration in this male-dominated industry?
Yeah, and I think that's part of what makes the Attract Abundance Conference great, because there are so many different women. A lot of us are in the same industry, a lot of us are not, but I think the collaboration of the mindsets, right?
Yes.
Being around people who are doing it, people who are transitioning, people that are starting, I feel like one of the things that, you know, we've talked about in coaching and things is like, what God has for me is for me.
Exactly.
And what God has for Veronica is for Veronica. So
Yes.
I feel like as women, if we could drop the guard and just allow people to speak things into us, it can transform our journey.
Yes.
It can attract abundance,
Yes.
right? Because there's no winning. I mean, yeah, we're competing against, we're not even competing against males, right? We're just trying to make our own way.
Right.
It's not, I mean, we do the same thing. We're just trying to prove that we as women can do it. So I think collaboration with people of the same industry and even other industries provide perspectives, because my successes and failures are completely different than your successes and failures, even though it's the same industry.
Yes.
So if I can learn a shortcut,
Yes.
and not have to take the long way around, then I want to do that.
Yes.
If it's proven, right? Like I don't want to take from somebody that's not been through it or going through it. I want to be able to take their experience and take shortcuts of my own. And then if I could provide the same thing back to somebody, like, I've been there, done that, don't do this, you know? So I think the importance of collaboration in any industry is imperative for growth. Right? You can't have a selfish attitude. And as women, it's hard in general.
It is.
So much easier to work together than against each other.
It really is. It really is. You know, there's a quote that says, it's easier to turn a client into a friend than a friend into a client. And I believe that that is very true.
Yes.
I believe that although we've had the opportunity to work together, Veronica and I became friends in the process. And this is why I call Veronica friend. Like there were a lot of reasons why I wanted to call her friend, but even though I wanted to keep the professionalism because I was given the opportunity to mentor her and so forth, she mentored me as well. I knew Veronica was a real deal friend when she didn't leave me in Dubai. I said, oh my gosh, I have a friend for real. So let me tell y'all what happened. So when Veronica decided to work alongside me, she was like, okay, what do I do next? I said, buy a ticket, let's go to Dubai. And she was like, what? I was like, I'm going to Dubai, and I think it will be great for your business. I think it will be great just for you personally, and we're going to have an amazing time. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't think she was going to do it. I was just going to see what she's going to do it. And she did it. So we went to Dubai. We had this amazing time. We met some amazing people. And as fate would have it, because I'm a full-time entrepreneur, sometimes I really move at the beat of my own drum. And so my phone was dead. And I thought I would go get a Coca-Cola. I wanted one more Coca-Cola that didn't have high fructose corn syrup in it, because they don't have high fructose corn syrup in Dubai, in their Cokes. And so I said, I need one more, and I'm going to go get a snack. Well, in the Dubai airport, they do not make any announcements. They call it a silent airport, right?
Yeah.
And so my battery is dead on my phone. My battery on my watch is dead. I don't know what time it is, but in my mind, I just knew what I wanted to eat wasn't too far away. So here I am walking, not realizing that I'm about to miss my plane. So I get my food and I look and I'm like, I think that's where I was. All the seats are empty and all I can see is Veronica in the faint background, like, come on, they're about to leave. I said, what? Oh my gosh, we're about to get left. Yeah. And I remember saying to Veronica, I know you have to be back home tomorrow. You could have left me because you have responsibilities that you have to get to in the United States. And she said, there is no way I would have left you in a foreign country. I said, that is my friend. That is my friend.
I told that story today.
You told the story today?
Yeah.
It's good to have people who will have your back no matter what. And so, again, I believe it's important for us to highlight that you should have collaboration over competition even when you're in the same industry, because you never know who you may meet. Now, I am going to take a moment here and ask, because I asked another individual not too long ago, how have you evolved as a business owner since we've had the opportunity to work together?
I would say boldness, right? So the underlying thing is systems, right? So if you don't have a foundation to grow on, it's hard to scale.
Yes.
I'm not a numbers person. I hate writing things down. It's not my thing. But I think the boldness in like one of the first tasks, more so than coaching, was action. Mm-hmm. You know, it wasn't talking. It was, you got to do it. Like, you're not going to get anywhere if we just talk about it. Mm-hmm. So like task one was like, you need to have this booked in the next 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. You need to have the landing page done. These are let me know when it's done. I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I think just the transformation of like just putting the action to it, right? Mm-hmm. I'm guilty of being over analytical. I want to know why, I want to know how, I want to know the details, I want to know, is it proven, has it worked? I want to know all the details. And then I get to decide, not worth it or worth it, you know? Mm-hmm. But I feel like since working with you, it's more like just do it. Mm-hmm. If it fails, do it again, but try something different.
Exactly.
You know, so it's easier. I've learned better by doing and failing. Mm-hmm. My second luncheon, we know, did not go great because why? I didn't do. So it just learning through action, I think, has been one of the biggest things for me, because it's easy for me to sit back and just be like, okay, yeah, I did this paperwork, I watched this video, I did this, but the action part really, I think, is what evolved the most for me, is taking those steps and stepping forward and coming to conferences and collaborating and meeting other people. I've grown in that area.
Yes, and now you're a conference speaker.
I am.
You are a conference speaker. So tell the people, what are some of your favorite things to speak about, because they may want to book you, Veronica.
Well, I love to speak about finances, right? We love to talk about protecting your wealth. Wealthy women sometimes still know what to do. It's like we've acquired entrepreneurs, you build all this stuff and you're like, now what? Like, I have it, but what do I do with it? How do I protect it? How do I position it to leave a legacy? How do I, set up something for my babies, my grandkids, my nieces, my nephews? Like, what can I do to promote this financial literacy and legacy beyond me? Mm-hmm. And so teaching them how to strategize and position themselves to pass that generational wealth on, teaching them various things as far as like, I don't want to say products, but I would say strategy, mm-hmm. because there's a lot of things out there and there's no new product. No, but everybody's situation is different. So I love to speak to them on how to protect their wealth, how to pass on their wealth, and how to, create legacy and generational change.
Yes. And now that you are a conference speaker, tell us, again, who are the women you love to pour into and speak to when you are speaking and leading and teaching and educating and doing all the amazing things that you do?
Yes, so I Love to speak to women who serve. I am a servant woman myself. I love giving of my time, of my resources, sometimes more than I should, right? I give sometimes to my detriment.
Yes.
But those women who just pour out, the mothers, the ministry workers, the caregivers, teachers, the people who are pouring out every day to everybody else, sometimes I feel like my servitude to them is me pouring back into them. So I speak to women who continually give. And I'm a giver too. But
You are.
I want a space for them to feel relaxed, a space for them to say, okay, I don't have to do anything here. I can just be.
Yes.
So that's my group.
Good. I love all of this. And I typically will ask you a question in regards to the giving, but I think I want to ask you something different. Because when we first started working together, again, I didn't have the Attract Abundance conference. I didn't have the Attract Abundance framework. I was doing the framework, but I hadn't written it down as a framework. But now that you've gotten an opportunity to experience it and you see how I have been able to build a business without buying leads, when that's different from our industry, what have you learned about how to attract abundance?
That you carry it with you, right? So in who you speak to and how you speak to people, in the collaboration of people, the networking of people, attending things, putting yourself out there, hiding behind a telephone, hiding behind a computer, hiding behind a direct mail lead that comes in, you're just one in a million of a school of fish, right? There's no difference to set you apart. People are attracted to you based on your personality. And so putting myself out there, your elevator speech, right? Letting people, wherever you go, because I'm quiet, because I'm soft-spoken, it's easy for me in a room to just be quiet. It's easy for me to observe and watch. But I feel now I have to use my voice, even though it's soft, even though it's quiet, using my voice to the best of my ability to bring in the people that are for me, to let people know what I do, right?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people in my circle outside of like my immediate, like if you told them I did insurance or finance, or they'd be like, what? I thought she was a healthcare worker. Like, because I don't do lives. I don't, I'm not putting it out there. But I have stepped out of that and am now using my brand. I'm using me as a brand. I'm not using a telemarketing company as a brand. I am my own brand.
Yes.
And so I'm marketing that instead of a lead program.
Yes, and a funny moment, as you're speaking, a funny moment that I keep thinking about is a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to see you speak at a conference. And the screen was about as big as this banner. And so y'all have to understand that she was getting ready to go into her presentation, and she saw her big face on this big screen, and she said, "Who's that? Is that me?" And everybody in the room started laughing. What was that moment like, and what led to that moment where you were like, "Oh my goodness, is that me? That is me."
I mean, it was transformational for sure. Like, legit, it wasn't a joke. Like, I saw out of the corner of my eye a reflection that looked like me, and I was like, who is that? And so to see that transpire onto a big screen was like, that's not who I thought. Because as a woman who serves, we take a back role. We're in the kitchen, we're in the nursery, we're teaching Sunday school, we're doing all the behind the scene things. And that's where I'm comfortable. Yes. Like, that's okay. I don't need a title. I don't need a platform. I don't need any of those things. So then to be on the platform, be like, that's me.
Yes.
Like, okay, I can change people's lives.
Yes, and you do. And when she finished, everybody was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. They're turning in papers. They're asking her questions. And I just remember that moment. I was thinking, I really wonder how, when you saw yourself on that screen, I just wanted to know how you could articulate just that feeling. And I'm glad that you shared that here. Yeah. Because that was a magical moment. One more thing before we get ready to wrap this up. because I know that you spoke about serving and having teenage children and all of those things. So what is the importance of making sure that you are taken care of as a woman who is also a businesswoman, a mother, and a woman that wears all of these hats? How do you make sure that you, Veronica Crippen, is taken care of and you are putting yourself first when you typically wouldn't put yourself first because you're the type of person that serves so many people?
I will say that's still very difficult. Changing the nature of who I am to do that. But at the conference that we were just at, her name slips me. Anyway, no. The first speaker that we had said, Dr. Pat said, self-care is not selfish. And so I know we see those things, but to be in a space of women, and that room was filled with servant women, ministry leaders, pastors, people who give. So self-care is not selfish, right? So as a mom of teenage girls, sometimes there are things that they're like, why do you get to do that? Why, and it'd be something like getting a massage or getting your nails done, and they see it as unfair. And then I have mom guilt, like, oh, that is unfair. Like, so I'm learning to say, I deserve it. I do deserve it. I mean, my kids are fine, but I think realizing that as women, we deserve to take care of it. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, who's going to take care of them, right? Exactly. And my healthcare position, I say the same thing to caregivers every day. Like, you can't literally break your back. You can't, go sleepless nights, because if you're not well, the ones you take care of are not well. So in all forms of life, taking care of us, one of the things I've tried to implement probably within the last 30 days has been just quiet time. And even it's not self-pampering, it's not luxury, it's just being able to sit still and be quiet and say, breathe. Let everything process. So a 15-minute a day, and sometimes that's in my car, in my garage, right? Because when you go in the house, it's chaos. Up until your eyes close. So I think self-care is important in order, not just emotionally, spiritually, financially, all of those things. Otherwise, we're running on high octane and we make irresponsible choices and decisions when we lack sleep, when we lack hydration, when we lack nutrition, all of those things. Exercise, walking is one of the best things you could do.
Yes, and I love to walk.
Yeah, so I think just learning to say, if I'm not well, the people I'm serving are not well. And that's helped me, because otherwise, I mean, I've been guilty of, maybe being a little too snappy when somebody says something before I've really kind of processed, like, where are they coming from? So I've tried to take a step back, too, and realize that it's not about me all the time.
Yes, but sometimes it is, because you are a worthy one. And I thank you so much for being here. I thank you all so much for watching. Tell us, how can we get in touch with you? How can we stay connected with you as we get ready to wrap up this episode?
Well, lucky for you, I have a new group.
Oh!
Yes. So on Facebook, it's called Rooted Women Rising in Wealth. So there's a group there. My business page is Simply Rooted Financial. And then, of course, my website is simplyrootedfinancial.com.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything up and coming that we should know about?
No.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Working on some webinars, but I think with the holiday season coming, I got to kind of lay low.
I got you. Some people ramp up during the holiday season. Some people chill for a little bit and start off with the bang. So stay tuned is what she said. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Attract Abundance and Retire Wealthy podcast. My name is Dr. Terri Alford. We have the beautiful
Veronica Crippen, the Wealth Whisperer.
Yes, and we look forward to continuing to attract abundance and retire wealthy together. Have an amazing and an abundant week. Adios.
Adios.